Hello, my name is Milton, and I was recently in jail with Wes Watson, part of the transportation from North Florida to Miami-Dade County, where ultimately myself and Wes Watson, after a long bus ride to Miami-Dade County, we had a lot of conversation, and I was also placed in a protective unit with Wes Watson. And together we discussed a lot of Wes's plans. Wes has some really big things planned when he gets out of prison. And it's probably going to surprise a lot of people, but I mean, he's got his eyes set on big things, big success. He was telling me when we were driving, because he was kind of like really uncomfortable as he was sitting in the bus ride. And I'm like, "You okay there, Wes?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm freaking got all kind of crap in my wallet. It's got me really uncomfortable." And I'm like, "Wes, I mean, what exactly do you got in your wallet?" And Wes looks at me. He's like, "All my paperwork, dude. If you had as much paperwork as me, soft boy, you would surely know that it's hard to transfer all this paperwork across county lines." And I'm like, "I hear you, Wes, but why not just let your paperwork be carried in your belongings in your bag? I mean, all my stuff's in my bag, in the front of the bus, back of the bus." And he's like, "Dude, I don't trust those officers with my paperwork, dude. I got to be able to prove who I am when I get to the block." And he looks at me, and I'm like, "Okay, Wes." And Wes looks at me. He's like, "Furthermore, first thing I need to see when we get to Miami Dade is your freaking paperwork." And I'm like, "No thing, cool, no thing." You know what I mean? I'm like, we're both in protective custody, Wes. So what's the big deal about my paperwork?" He's like, "Let me tell you something, soy boy. If you knew what I've been through and all the hard work, I was calling shots in all the big yards in Cali and Arizona." And I'm like, "Yeah, cool, man. You know what I mean? But you was just a second ago, before you started going crazy about your prison wallet, you was talking about you were gonna make custom prison wallets to sell when you got back out on the street." And Wes looks at me and he's like, "Yeah, I got this idea. It's all written up. When we get to Miami Dade, I'll get it out my wallet and I'll show you the blueprints." I'm like, "You got blueprints on these prison wallets?" He's like, "It's custom prison wallets, boy. It's custom prison wallets. You don't operate on the same wavelength that I do. Your mind can't comprehend the macro and micro nutrients that are floating around in the atmosphere. And those macro and micro nutrients make me the man that I am. And you're just some little soy boy who's got to be placed in a protective wing." And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, "Yo, this dude's freaking amped and I'm scared, man." And he looks at me and Wes goes, "Let me tell you something, boy. You just program with me and I'll change your life." And I'm like, "Cool. I want to roll with you, Wes." And he looks at me and he says, "You got a mama who gives a damn about you, boy?" And I'm like, "Dude, I got a mom, a wife, a sister, I got 4 aunts. They all care about me." He's like, "I'm going to need each and every one of them to send me $50 a month of my book, and you could tell him that's going to go toward your personal coaching." And I'm like, "Oh, dude, so you're gonna basically mentor me?" He's like, "You can call it mentorship, but I call it programming." You know what I mean? Dang, this paperwork is freaking getting too crazy. My charges. And finally we get to Miami Dade, and when we get there, all the homeboys know Wes, man. He's getting daps and high fives from everybody. And I'm like, "Man, I'm glad to be a part of Wes." And so when we get patted down, strip searched, and I couldn't believe it, man. All of Wes's paperwork that the correctional staff pulled out of his prison wallet was insane, dude. It must have been enough to fill one of those old metal file cabinets from the 1980s. That's how much paperwork Wes had in there. And they put it in his property, and they're like, "Wes, why didn't you just transfer this in your property?" He's like, "Oh man, Captain, how it is. I'm from Cali, and in Cali we like to keep our stuff keistered up tight because we can't play no games. I want to see this dude right here's paperwork." And the captain looks at Wes. He said, "When y'all get in the dorm, the dude can show you whatever he wants." And Wes says, "Hey man, grab my freaking bag, man. Make sure when we get in the dorm, you call your mom and you tell her get that money sent on my books. And make sure that you put that it's, I don't want to be accused of strong arming. I get accused of strong arming all the time. And I got a bad rap for that." And I'm like, no problem. So I get in the dorm and I'm like, I'm not giving this dude no money. He's going to mentor me for free. You know what I mean? Anyway, what's he going to do? So we get in the dorm and he pulls out this paperwork on these prison wallets. And literally, the dude got these designs of these prison wallets where he's going to be implementing hobby craft shops. He's got the whole setup, hobby craft shops throughout the entire United States of America, and he's going to use prison hobby shops to make these prison wallets, and he's going to sell them on Amazon and Temu. And when he sells the prison wallets on Amazon and Temu, I'm like, Wes, why would you want to sell a prison wallet on Temu? He's like, I'm getting that next generation all ready to freaking be jacked and ready. So when they do get to prison, I'm like, dude, I don't know if they can let you sell on Temu. He said, they're going to let me. They know who I am. They don't know who you are. You're just a nobody. You can't even grasp micro and macro nutrients. You're going to sit here and tell me what Temu will and won't do. I got connections to all the big dogs in Temu. I'm like, cool, Wes. And so, we're sitting there having breakfast the next day, and Wes has got this sketch pad. He's sketching out this plan. And I'm like, what you doing, Wes? He's like, I'm doing something that's freaking, that helps my mind operate while I'm in here. I'm planning for my future. What are you doing? You're just sitting here eating the prison breakfast like you ain't got nothing better to do. I woke up 10 hours before you. I didn't even go to sleep. And I did like 3,700 burpees and I did 18 shadow box kickboxing and I pretended like I was fighting against everybody that you can imagine. You understand what I'm saying? I am the man. I'm the freaking man. And I'm like, all right, cool, Wes. And he's got this sketch pad. And on the sketch pad, written in bold letters, it says movie script. And I'm like, yo, Wes, man, you working on your movie? He's like, boy, I've been working on my movie since the day I was freaking born. And I'm like, cool, Wes. And then Wes looks at me and he says, I know how to program, and that's rule number one. By the way, did you call your mom and is that $50 en route to my books? I said, yeah, Wes, it should be here by the end of the week. He said, all right, rule number one, soy boy. He said, where's your paperwork? I said, it's in my cell, Wes. He says, go get your paperwork. So I walk up there, I get my paperwork, I come back down, and I put it on the table. And Wes starts looking at my paperwork. He's like, where's your charges at? And I say, hey, Wes, man, who's going to be playing, who you think about getting to direct your movie? He's like, I've been on this, man. I've been walking on this for a while. He said, I wrote Rob Zombie like 800 letters and he still hasn't responded. But as soon as Rob gets my letters, it's going to be on. I said, so you want Rob Zombie to direct your movie? So it's going to be like kind of like a parody horror movie? You know what I mean? He's like, what do you think I am, a joke? And I'm thinking to myself, well, have you seen Rob Zombie's movie? And so I'm thinking, well, what if Rob Zombie doesn't reply? He said, then I'm going to do the next best thing. I'm going to get Drewski to direct my movies. And I'm thinking, that's more like it, man. Temu, Drewski, Wes Watson, man, this is a match made in heaven. And so Wes looks at me and he's like, you know who's going to play me, boy? And I'm thinking to myself, who's going to play you, Wes? He's like, I'm going to get James Woods to play me. I said, James Woods isn't even jacked up. He said, you know what they can do with AI? That's the thing I've been trying to tell you. James Wood with a shaved head and some tats, man, and freaking some AI on him, man. He'll look better and more built and more sculpted than Arnold Schwarzenegger. A lot of people are out there looking at my new mugshot and they think I lost weight. I didn't just lose weight. It's just the macro water being released from my pores, and that's just toxins that have built up in me. And that's why I feel like I feel right now, because I'm detoxing from macros and micros. And I'm like, Wes, man, cool. He says, nobody tells me to freaking cool down. He says, you know what? Let me get my prison shank, run out of my prison wallet, and I'll get to slicing and cutting. Y'all can't program with me. He said I was kicking dudes in the face and they were jumping 2 toilets over and they couldn't even breathe. I had one dude's face in the toilet when I was in Cali and I was running all the yards. I had the keys to the whites, the blacks, and the freaking Mexicans. And I'm like, dang, if that's what 3,700 burpees do, I want to start doing 3,700 burpees because Wes was freaking jacked. He got the whole dorm programmed. I mean, you got the Cubans, you got the blacks. He even had a Muslim programmed at the same exact time. Everybody was putting their canteen in the same pot. And dude, Wes had us making like these protein bars. And Wes is like, let me tell you, soy boy, something. Nobody's jacked like freaking me. This is how you make it. You bring your peanut butter. You bring your peanut butter and your little poor ass right there. Because they had a hobo in there with us, you know. Stu didn't have any family. Stu was literally eating all the state foods. He hadn't worked out in his life. He was a regular doper. And Wes says, I'm going to change your freaking life. You're going to be the one who contributes since you can't put no peanut butter in the pot. You're going to be the one who crushes it in the garbage bag. And he said, if I catch anybody in this dormitory making homemade hooch, you're out of here. And we're like, dang, man, Wes, you really are impressive. He's like, I know I'm freaking impressive. And then one of the dudes says, hey, Wes, you should get Ellen Page to play you in the upcoming movie script that you're writing. He says, who the hell is Ellen Page? And we all just kind of chuckled. He says, that's the one thing y'all don't do is laugh at me. You know, I ain't no joke. I'm known. And next thing you know, man, a couple days pass by, and Wes gets his big package of legal mail in. He goes to his cell, and he opens the package. He comes back out, and next thing you know, he's peddling signed autographs of the Island Boys. He's like, I got these, man. Anybody wants a signed copy of the Island Boys, all you got to do is give me 1 peanut butter, 3 soups, and all you got to do is get your mom to send me $5 because it seems like nobody's sending me 50 in my account so I can mentor you. And everybody's like, dang, so you're giving us pictures of the Island Boys so you can get us on your mentorship program? And I'm thinking, man, how did everything go so wrong with you, Wes? I mean, you were on top of a hill. You had it. You had life literally handed to you on a silver platter because of your personality. All the cards in the deck were falling on your behalf. And here you are in prison for beating your girlfriend and beating some dude in the gym. And your life's falling apart and you're still acting like this. And this is such a tragedy. I'm thinking, man, if I can just get out and tell Wes's story and maybe get somebody to reach out to Wes. Wes needs help. Wes has a lot of issues. And I'm not so certain that Wes can be helped. But should we sit back and do nothing in the prison community when I think we all have a voice and we can share our voice to reach out to Wes Watson? I think Wes Watson is going to go to prison in Florida. And Southern prisons aren't like West Coast prisons. And I'm trying to explain that to Wes. And he's like, boy, you know that if I make it in Cali, I can make it anywhere. I'm like, dude, they don't care about you like that here, man. It's not the same thing. And he's like, yeah, I guess so, man. He said, you want to do some burpees? I'm like, nah, Wes, I'm not feeling the burpees today. I said, maybe you should lay off a little bit. I said, since you've been on this pod, Wes, it seems like everybody started doing burpees. You know, most of us didn't get past 100, Wes, and you still doing 3,700 burpees, Wes. He's like, that's all I do is eat peanut butter, take craps, and do burpees. And I'm like, yeah, I hear you, Wes, man. I said, why don't you sit down, man, and let's reflect together. And he sits down and he grabs his head and he just lays there with his head in his hands like this. And he's like, dude, I don't know what I did. My life's falling apart. But I'm freaking Wes Watson, and I'm not bowing down, and I'm not unprogramming. Program up, boy. Mentorship, $15.99 plus 2 copies of signed autographs of the Island Boys. I'm coming back, and when I come back, I'm coming against all y'all. And I'm like, dang, Wes Watson don't got no quit in it.